good people of a great nation, I welcome you to the first discussion segment of Development Focus with Jide Ojo on ITV. Like I said, this is where we dissect development issues and find solutions to Nigeria's myriads of national challenges. I do hope you can you stay tuned with us so that we look at the solution together. For this first segment, we'll be looking at the challenge of organizing, conducting, supervising a local government election in Nigeria. Over the weekend, we had election in two states, local government election for that matter, in two states, Lagos and Ogun State, on the 24th of July, 2021. And I've pulled into the studio a comrade and a civil society juggernaut who have seen it all. He's a veteran election observer, he's a veteran activist. He's done so much in the area of national development. He was even a member of the National Conference of 2014. You're welcome, comrade Ezenwa Nwagwu.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you. Maybe I didn't do sufficient justice to, introducing you. Maybe maybe the viewer will want to know more about your background and stuff.
I think let's be self-effacing on this morning. What is important is the conversation that we're going to have. I think you've done well. The only thing is that let's keep this at easy.
Okay, you don't want the comrade aspect. No, anyway, we can flow better. All right. You are a board member of Yaga Africa, yes. And you were in Lagos to observe the just concluded local government election in Lagos. What are your findings?
Well, it's better to background this whole thing. For nearly a decade now, I've been in the forefront of demanding that we put attention on subnational governance, not just elections. And that push and pull came to. We had a skeletal thing in Akwa Ibom when Action Aid supported us to do a small situation room for a local government election in Akwa Ibom.
That was last year or this year?
No, that was last 2 years.
Oh, okay.
And since then, I have had this consistent interest in both local government budgets, local government elections, and issues around subnational governance generally. So, Yaga Africa was caught up with that and then decided to excite a donor to support us to pilot observation, not the parallel voter tabulation, general,
not PVT.
Yes,
okay.
General observation of the Lagos.
The traditional observation, as we know it to be.
Yes, but more rigorous than our normal, because we also had partners, WotC and the rest of them, all in some kind of center where we. So having put that background, my sense is that our general attitude to subnational governance is pretty low. You see, we interested in federal appointments. Just remember the Loreto Onochi.
All eyes was on us.
We all backed, and but I don't know if there's anybody who is interested in any appointments in the state and how those appointments
are made.
Oh,
let's talk less of local.
No, that's what I'm saying. And appointments are made,
Plenty appointments
are made.
I once had, very recently, about 3 months ago, I had the chairman of Karu local government coming on the show that's Samuel Akala, coming on the show to talk about local government in Nigeria. It was very inspiring. People don't even believe that there is anything going on.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That is the greatest deceit. You see, because 42% of the resources of this country is domiciled in subnational governments. 48-52. And that 48 is not supervised by anybody, just like you said now. No supervision, no oversight, nothing. So you have dictatorship, like I told you a few days ago, dictatorship below,
democracy or semblance of democracy at the top.
Election has been done. You were in Edo. Election was conducted in September. November, the guy there was sworn in. He has run that state without commissioner. No quip, nothing. Nobody is saying, I'm just getting this so that you understand
how negligent we have been.
The country is scam. No commissioner. This is we are entering August by Sunday thereabout.
And they're almost getting to 10 months now. No commissioner.
The State House of Assembly is perpetually under construction.
No, but he signed a couple of bills.
So few of those guys are sitting in government house with nearly half of them suspended.
Imo, your state has just suspended.
So with all the work with your columns and everything, how many state budgets have you been able to interrogate?
Where are they?
Where can you find them? So having laid that background, you now need to understand the idea of local government elections. They are really a shame to call them elections. To even call them elections is derogatory of that word.
So it's coronation.
So for instance, there is no state except for Kaduna and Nasarawa that have had local government election and opposition picked less than 35%. In any other place where they decided to conduct it at all, they take everything. The Akwa Ibom own that I'm telling you was so laughable that the man who presided over the election came with a white sheet of paper in front of the media. Nothing was written on it. He said, "This party won all this
everything. Just take it as
if you want details, that you should
see him in camera."
And that was the end of the press conference. In that state, no comment, nobody, no issue, no protest, no agitation, no.
No, he said, job for the boys. You just use it to settle.
Therefore, we were in Lagos on Thursday. I started the normal thing that I do. I would get into taxis. I would get into town just to get a feel. And everywhere I was going, I would say, please tune to this radio station. I just want to see whether the content, even the narrative, the conversation within the state is centered. Let's say we tuned into 10 radio stations, just about 3 we are paying attention to
the fact that there will be local government elections on Saturday.
So that's the background to our general attitude. So then we went to SEC. And you've done a lot of work with your background in IFS.
Yeah.
So you've done quite a lot around there. I'm not telling you. So the SEC chairperson was feeling like a god.
Retired Justice Phillips.
No, not Phillips. Even, that thing that, not what we will know. We will badge into INEC. We will ask them to open their books. We will interrogate this, interrogate that. And the woman was like, who the hell are you?
Are you people? Hey, where are you from? These Abuja people have come.
How did you know?
No. You know our background.
So IFS, was doing some stuff with them. So we had to use the IFS guys to eventually force a meeting and all of that. And then she started telling us her challenges, the things and she didn't know and all that. And we said, look, if you have an election support center, civil society should be in there.
I'm part of that.
He said no, that the security agencies applied that civil society did not apply. I said, okay, now we are here. Give us one slot. But now this is about the earlier part of it. The issue about process, the whole guidelines, the whole what you know about pre-election issues, they fulfilled
all righteousness.
At least
in terms of ticking the box.
They tick the box. They tick the box, and then you now came to election proper. The people themselves
boycott.
I don't want to use the word boycott because I also have a different attitude to that. Even if the idea is to keep you away, you shouldn't keep yourself away. You understand what I'm saying? Because like I said, resources is being appropriated, public resources is being appropriated in this.
You know, Eze, I followed through that, even though I wasn't on ground in Lagos, but I followed through developments right from when. Maybe we should actually lay that background. Yaga Africa always do pre-election assessment statement, and I knew that the party primaries were very rancorous. In fact, there was alleged to have been one death recorded in one particular instance.
Yes, so if you remember, any state where you have a political party that is dominant, the internal party struggles get a little bit more testy than even the bigger election, because it is assumed that once you get that ticket,
the rest is coronation. the rest it's just to come for swearing in.
So you get it. So in those, whether it's in Bayelsa in those days or when you had the dominant political party, there was more crisis in
the primaries than during the
election. So Lagos was not an exception. In fact, many Lagosians that you talk to have already told you that I want to Quinton.
It's already allocated. It's an allocation. So come and collect your allocation paper.
So you saw the number of political parties that were in the 300 and the 37 LCDAs, 20 local governments, the two dominant political parties. Even one was not so. There was despondency in terms of even.
You know something that shocked me. Because this is the issue I engaged in my column in The Punch today. I think I shared with you earlier. I discovered that the law of Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission allows for substitution of candidates till 72 hours to election.
Yes.
So, I mean, just imagine, your name appeared, you've campaigned, and 3 days to election, somebody said, no, you are no longer the candidate. How do you think my supporters will feel? How will I engage the process?
But these are intra-party.
Should that have been allowed for the substitution of candidates?
There is so much
to be substituted 3 days to election.
If you look at the recommendations that Yaga Africa made, we asked the state assemblies to look at those guidelines. That those guidelines were not in conformity with the best practices. Indeed. For you to contest local government chairman in Lagos State, you have to be 30 years.
Instead of 25, which is the national law.
So 28-year-olds, 29-year-olds, people who have PhDs cannot contest in Lagos State.
Not even for councillorship.
Not for councillorship.
Anyway, now let's come to this issue. I read the statement from Yaga. And thanks for sharing that with me. There was something that was worrisome. You said that all the phenomenon of late commencement of voting, there was no secrecy of ballot, no strict adherence to COVID-19 protocols.
Non-pharmaceutical protocols.
Non-pharmaceutical protocols. I think you also raised the issue of, but surprisingly, there was no issue about vote buying. I didn't read anything about vote buying or vote trading.
No, but those things are I don't know how to put it, but there is just one example where I was just in somewhere in Surulere where I went to observe, and then I was standing. Somebody, she didn't know I was Igbo, so she was canvassing somebody that the person should go and bring her voter's card, that come and vote, will find you
something
small thing. The woman was so livid. I was so excited. The woman that was canvassed was so angry. Now, what do you mean? That I should come and vote and you give me something? Who are you?
Interesting.
And we are doing this in conversing in Igbo, and I just walked away. And I so when the woman walked away, I went to shake her hand. I told her that society would be better if we had
people like
yes,
that.
but at that wide scale that you used to know, there was nothing.
Then the election was peaceful.
There are things that went well for the election. It's except for in maybe Shomolu area, the Mushi area, some parts of Agege where you had some, skirmishes, and the YPP confrontation with LASEC officials.
The name was not properly.
Yes, but also I faulted that, because if your name is not, if you didn't find your name in the ballot, that's a good ground
to go for nullification of the election.
For you to go to LASEC and go confront and all of those things is part of that showmanship that is smacking of ignorance.
And interestingly, Lagos used smart card reader.
Yes, but that's another part.
But your word said the smart card reader were either not fully charged or was not used in many places. Some people did
not even bring it out of the pack. The officials, because Lagos LASEC borrowed, they had to go and
from
INEC, and I don't know the space of the time in which they collected those materials and whether there were training, sufficient training opportunity. And of course, you also know that there's also the part of mischief. Because if you use the smart card,
because the chairperson, I watched her on channels. She was saying that okay, if you can't find, if you're just like in the case of INEC anyway, if your fingerprint is not, you resort to incident form, and that
we have already shut down incident form
at the national level. But let's also look at the issue of women participation and PWD. Persons with disability.
The officials, like I said, one of the beautiful things that they did was that most of the electoral officials, especially the presiding officers and the assistants, were generally women, and that was exciting for Yaga observation, watching the votes. It was pretty exciting for us that. LASEC was able to mainstream quite a lot of women. But like we said, not a lot was done for people living with disabilities in terms of even citing of the ballot boxes and some of the places where the elections were conducted. We are not disability friendly. So that's but in terms of engaging women, and then some of the political parties also did well in putting up women as candidates to fly their party flag, which is heartwarming as well.
Did any one of them win? What was the number of women? I mean, so you said there were more women as vice chairperson than there were as chairperson.
Yes.
But on the whole, out of the 20 local government and 37 FCDAs, how many of them are?
No, you know, I'm not for some of. We are not outcome watchers. We hardly watch.
But they have inaugurated them yesterday.
No, that's what I'm saying. I've not paid
attention to
the observation. Did not pay attention to
the outcomes. Yeah, not just the process.
It's more of the process. But like I said, what we are concerned about is that you had quite a lot of women.
At least as
and Cosri look at that result. I also saw the inauguration of some women.
Yeah. Okay. So what about persons with disability?
No, that's what I'm saying. The CCD had
David
had a press conference, and we also went to support him, where he called attention of the complete non-inclusion of people living with disabilities. And
Lagos have a disability law, even before that of the federal.
Yes, so it's also that absence of synergy and coordination between organizations, institutions within the state. I mean, that disability commission did not need anybody to rise them to understand that if an election is coming, you should interface with the SEC to ensure that the constituency that you represent are fully the issues that concern them, Braille, all of those issues that we are already pushing forward.
Then there was this attempt by the chairperson when I watched interaction on another sister station. She was like, they were going to do like electronic transmission into the website, but as at the eve of the election, the website has not been fully ready. Was there any transition, electronic transition?
Well, those are the issues that we raised with her. First is that they asked observer groups, civil society and observer groups to register online, and then 24 hours to election, the website was not up and running. They had to force people to do to apply manually again, and then at the end of the day, they were even saying it is only 5 people that they are going to accredit.
Why?
That's the level of So it's that engagement that IFES facilitated for us that eventually opened the door to even more
civil society participation. Now, there was also the trending video. I don't know if you saw it. I don't know. This day of doctored Photoshop and all of that, of a woman that was doing mass thumb printing, and they said it was in the Lagos election. Then there is another trending video of 2 women blocked by a pole or column, who are also doing mass translation.
See, incidentally, you are also a veteran in this constituency. Election is about observation. It's what we observed, and our observers in the field did not.
You report anything also? Because I actually was wondering what would be the basis for you to be doing. You are contesting against yourself.
But Nigerian politicians rig elections that they will win. Don't make a mistake about
even the election they will win, they will rig it.
Yes, even the one that they are
assured of winning
because they don't want to take chances. They don't want to. So, but that's not corroborating that.
Oh, okay, that took place.
That took place. But even if that took place, because there is also a tendency for people who don't understand the elections to, an isolated case
cannot be used to generalize the entire process.
You understand? So if you take a video of where that happens, how many polling units did you have? And what impact
will you have done on the... Okay, let's come to disaggregate this, is it? What will you advance as rationale behind the abysmally low voter turnout?
See, I hear all kinds of things, and studies also avert to that. But I will state them and then tell you what I feel. I hear about poverty. The people have been so pauperized. Excellent. It passes for a good argument. How people have been pauperized, and so they are not interested in governance, selection. People have been selected, and selection happens at the party primaries. So that's where selection happens. And if you are not a member of a political party, you cannot determine for them
who their candidate should be.
But once they bring a candidate, and the electoral management body certifies that candidate as fit to contest, you now have a responsibility. You don't begin to prejudge what happened in their internal, you understand, because they brought a candidate. So selection, violence. The people are afraid of violence, that they cannot make a sacrifice for people who don't care for them, you know, and then go and die for election and all of those things that you hear, and then the insecurity. So we can hoist all the regime of excuses that is possible. But let me say this. My own attitude is that somebody has something that belongs to you. This thing he has belongs to me and you. Then, for him to preside over what belongs to us, it is expected that you have an input to give him the legitimacy to comfortably preside over this. And then by yourself, you find all the excuses why you should not be part of that. You have strengthened this man's. You have by that. Jide, me and you know that if there are 500 voting strength of in a polling unit, and 450 people come out in that polling unit, you can't do anything there.
People have even said, okay, all this agitation about NSAS, that kind of anger, that kind of zeal that was shown during the NSAS protest of October 2020 should have been transferred to this kind of election.
See, let me tell you something. The excitement about protests, and you are a veteran, I am one. When you do protests, the 90% of the people who come to the protest don't even know what you are doing.
They don't know why you are there.
Or they don't.
And possibly maybe because there was free lunch, free breakfast.
No, forget even the lunch.
and then,
forget the lunch. Just the expression.
Yeah.
If you see what we did, you understand. There is a sense of power that
in a mob action.
In a mob action, and translating that to come to translate that to power is part of the challenge that we constantly have. How many people listen? You find people getting very excited. Call for a protest now. Hey, we will be there. We will see you. When you get there, you will not see them. So the challenge of translating this has to do with advocacy, strong advocacy, for people to realize that what we are talking about is not anybody's thing. See, government spends your money in a budget, because when we do academic definition of budget, people don't understand what it is. Budget is an estimate that the government has made with your own money, whether the proceeds come from natural resources or come from tax, VAT, stamp duty, licenses, and all of that. All of these things are the contributions that citizens make. Then somebody has that resources, and that man that wants to, you allow him to do what he wants with it. You are just not interested. So poverty, the same you that refuse to come out because you are poor. The policies that man who is elected will implement can deepen your poverty,
of course,
or bring you out of it.
Definitely. Now let's pause a bit. There are positives, and I want in balancing this discussion, I see a number of positives that happen both in Lagos and in Ogun State. One is the election was peaceful. There wasn't issues around mass vote trading. Women participation was significant, and you also have issue of regularity of even holding this election. Like you said, in some states, elections have not been held in the last decade. And
even some of the nastiest former governors,
they will not organize this election. Yeah. And one thing that inspires me about Lagos is the tenure of local government is 4 years, which is same as that of the governor and that of the president.
Yeah.
In Ogun State is 3 years, which is fair. At some point, we did have 1 year tenure in Nassau. Nasarawa here before they amend the law to now make it. I think it's now 3 years.
Yes.
So, I mean, we should commend, no matter what the challenges are there, but we should commend the fact that at least these states are having their own. They are not allowing vacuum. They are not allowing caretaker committee and all of that.
You also know that the no matter what you say, the threats that the president has put on the local governments and local government administration of funds is also pushing the governors
to organize.
That's one. And then for the citizens, the president of a country accused on national television, accused the governors of, in good English, pilfering local government
funds
in national television. No whimper. No, it's never happened. 300,000 document is given to you to sign that you collected 100, and the governors do away with 200 million of that money by the president of the country throughout the 36 states of the federation. No one person has come to say you are talking trash.
Okay. Now, let's do this. What do you think can strengthen the state independent electoral commissions? We have 36 of them, and you have observed the elections now at both national and subnational levels.
Yes.
How do we strengthen them? Are you of the school of thought that we should scrap SEC and make INEC to conduct all the elections, as was actually recommended by Waste Committee in 2008?
I don't agree with scrapping SEC, and it's coming from our own experience. The investment that has been made on improving INEC, if we do 1/10 of it for SEC,
they will perform better.
Just take your own personal contribution. Forget what any other person, in terms of what articulation, engagement. How much of it have we engaged with the SEC? We abandon them. We also are guilty of, it's their thing.
Let them do it the way they like.
Let them do it the way they like. So by the time the kind of interest that was excited with Lagos Ogun local government election continues, we will see a shift.
Paradigm shift.
That shift is important. Number 2 is to also see whether there can be peer learning, a genuine one, from the improvements, the relative improvements that we have seen in INEC. It can be shared with the SECs.
But they have a joint meeting. They hold. There is this.
Most of these things are ritual. They are ritual. The donor community, civil society organizations should invest time the way we have done with INEC.
But the argument of the donor community is that there are 36 of them. INEC is just one, and we are able to
INEC is not
whatever
one.
we do with
INEC is not one.
Yeah, how do you mean?
INEC is not one now. INEC is also 36 in the sense that you have state resident electoral commissioners. The resources that you invest, you don't invest it in the national headquarters, right? Whether there is training, whether it's capacity building, whether it's engagement, you diffuse it down to the states, right? So that argument, the challenge is that, you see, is always about visibility. You understand? Will we get visibility from this? Will we get traction if we put our resources in this? And then for civil society, unfortunately for us, we need resources to do the work. So once there is no resources,
no volunteerism.
So we need to excite interest. in support for sex. And why I say that is that, just watch it. We wanted to, the president nominated Loretta Onochie to INEC. All of us in unison said no. Appointments are made into SEC.
Nobody bothers what is the background of these people.
Who has nobody, we don't care.
Are they card carrying members of a political party?
We don't even care. We don't want to know. We are not interested. So how can you be trying to reap where you did not?
Sorry to cut you short because of our time constraint.
Yeah.
There is also this argument that INEC is on first line charge of Consolidated Revenue Fund, having been granted financial autonomy in 2010. The State Independent Electoral Commission do not have that financial autonomy.
So just look at INEC that we claim as financial autonomy, because it's a claim. Because financial autonomy is that we are 2 years away. We're actually 2 years away from 2023.
Yeah. As
we speak now, INEC cannot make procurements
for ahead of that election. So because no funding has been granted to it.
So you would wait 6 months to the time, and then
by June next year, maybe there will be need for supplementary budget.
And then you now, so that's not financial. So if it happens like that with INEC, think about where emperors bring money from their back pockets.
Before I continue, let me bring our viewers to join us on this. You can join us on 0809-987-1989. 0809-987-1989. We are discussing local government elections and administration. Please, we expect your call if you have any question. My comrade is here to answer it. He was there in Lagos to observe the local government elections. And don't forget, that of Abuja is coming up in February 2022. Nasarawa is even in October this year. So please, let's take interest in what's happening at the local government. That's the conversation we are having this morning. If you have ideas on how we can improve elections and governance at the local government, please do reach out to us through this number 0809-987-1989. That's the number on your screen. So now, Eze, you said even financial autonomy of INEC is suspect. It's in parentheses, and it's been 11 years since that law came into being. That INEC is now of the granted financial autonomy. It now has. So how much more? This reminds me of. There was a capacity building we went to do for a particular state independent, Forum of State Independent Electoral Commission. We asked them for, opinion, what are your challenges and everything. And one of them, I think his tenure has ended now. One of them said, look, when I wanted to conduct election, I gave the budget to His Excellency. The Excellency cut the budget by 75%. One third is So like you asked for 1.5 billion and you are giving 500 million. So he said that was what the State House of Assembly appropriated for them, because that's what was recommended by the. Wait. The story didn't end there. So after the appropriation, the governor now called the chairman of SEC and said, so I've not had the date for the local government election. He said, Your Honor, sir, Your Excellency, I don't know. There are 3 senatorial districts in this state. Which of the 3 senatorial districts do you want me to first have this election? Because the budget you give us can only have election in one of the 3 senatorial districts. We needed sufficient resources to do a thorough job. That is the experience. By stroke of pen, you just say, you don't need this much. Just go make what is the election. And if we continue to have governors with that kind of mindset, that local government election is a coronation, it's not supposed to be anything competitive, then you continue to have, SEC that will just say, okay, let's do the ticking of the box. Let's just do the Olo ritual. And like the example you gave, where there is even no breakdown of results. Just all the contestants for this party won, and they will be, and it's almost no, sorry to it's like a noodle. Yeah. You get certificate of return in the morning, and in the afternoon you are with His Excellency getting inaugurated. With INEC, there will even be 2 months or 3 months.
You see, that's the point that I've made, and which I'm trying to excite our people to become more and more interested in. There is no governance going on at the state level. See, I have support from Makato that's helped my organization to work in the states for some time now, and I'm doing budgets, local government budgets, state budgets. I'm training traditional religious leaders, training labor leaders, training civic groups. My brother, I have chairman of Nigerian Labour Congress, Trade Union Congress, NUT, different organizations in this training. And I asked the question, how many of you have seen the budget of your state? I'm talking about critical stakeholders.
Those who should know. So if you can't see the state budget, how will you see that of the local government? And the councillors are supposed to be the parliament
So the lie is that there is even an assembly that is appropriating. So that untruth is what is spread. Oh, that somebody appropriated that 500,000 you talked about. It's a simple matter. Until citizens begin to get interested in how the states are run, there are governors who don't stay in their state. They live in this Abuja.
They live with us here in Abuja.
They don't go home. The allocation is from here.
No, you are even beautifying it. Some are abroad. Governors by billboard, by telephone.
Yes,
it's only COVID-19 that has kept many of them to stay back home.
No, hope is Abuja.
Hope is Abuja. Yes, that's what I'm
saying. No, I'm not joking. So they get the allocation of the state, they appropriate it, they do what they like, they appoint we talk nepotism. There is no nepotism in the state. Is a culture. That's what it should be. If I don't appoint my relative, should I appoint you? And nobody is. So
nobody is talking.
If we continue like that, and my summation of it always is that a lot of people like what is far away. We are interested in that which is close by us. We don't
take interest in it.
See, in Lagos, like I told you, radio stations were discussing Chibok girls.
Chibok girls?
On Saturday.
When they should be mobilizing people
on Saturday,
to go and mobilize.
As Chibok girls is it that Saturday?
When you should be galvanizing people to participate in the election.
I'm not kidding you. Some we are discussing. In fact, a radio station, a television house on the day of election was telling me to discuss electoral amendments in Abuja. And I had to call them and said, are you people all right? I'm in Lagos to discuss, and you're asking me to discuss amendment that, what's the interconnectedness?
And this is not even the time and place to discuss that. This is about the governance at the local, which should be the building block for our democratic consolidation of culture.
My interest in this is that there are people who have deliberately outsourced that interest. They decided that our interests should never be around those issues. Commissioners are appointed.
No background check.
If as a member of the State Assembly you raise any issue against that nomination, they will suspend you.
You could see the issue of financial autonomy to the State House of Assembly and the State Judiciary has taken 3 years because our governors are just not ready.
The speakers of the State Assembly, well, you knew when this thing started that the local government themselves, the appointees in local government, as well as they say, rejected autonomy.
Yeah, they did.
In Nigeria, not by themselves. That said, we don't want autonomy.
Again,
if you say you want autonomy, you will not sleep in your house. Yeah, I came here. Let me tell you, I worry. You know, people talk about you are going to discuss shrinking civil space, as I saw and all that. And as I was coming here, and I was thinking about your program and all the things around it, and I was telling myself, I said, do you know how many radio stations are in Nigeria? Do you know how many newspapers, local and national, are printed daily? But Jide, go and take their content. Their content is federal.
No local.
90% of their content is federal.
Because that's where the information is, and they are not demanding at the subnational level. Look at what happened to Agbajalingo. That was even trying to interrogate.
It was in Lagos that they went to carry Lagos. JFM in Jos here, JFM here, did one story against Plateau. It was shut down for 3 months.
Hello, let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Oh, sir. Yeah, sorry, keep on.
JFM here was closed down for 3 months, more than 6 months. Just
over what?
Over engaging state issues. Every notable politician you know in Nigeria has a radio station.
That's true. Many of them. I don't want to mention it.
No. Why I'm telling you this is...
Hello? Please, 1 minute. Hello? Yeah, please tune down the volume of your radio set. Tune down the volume of your radio set and tell us your name and where you are calling from.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, so can you hear me clearly now?
I can. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Joseph. I'm calling you from Abuja.
You are calling from where in Abuja?
I'm calling from Abuja.
Okay, Joseph.
I'm calling from Papi, Abuja.
Okay, so what's your question or comment?
I'm calling from Papi, Abuja.
Afadu, what's your question or comment?
So my question now is that, you know, is it not last 2 years we had election in Abuja here? You know, there are some policemen that come to supervise the polling unit, but unknowing to me, what surprised me most is that those policemen were called aside. I don't know, people that wanted to vote, they are started interrogating them. No, this election should not be like this, that like peaceful election, but I don't know whether they are sent by different persons entirely or they come there for another different or for different parties, because we don't know whether police have their own party and other people have their own party, because we don't know the difference between the security and the polling unit anymore. We are surprised because even though to make our choice, it's very difficult for us to make our choice.
Okay, Joseph.
So we don't understand. That is the point. That's the question.
You are talking about partisanship of the security agency.
Or they are just there neutral on their own, or they are sent to monitor one party.
Okay, thank you very much for your observation, Joseph. Thank you. Again, the number to call is on your screen: 0809-987-1989. 0809-987-1989. So you were talking about the shrinking civic space. We can as well move into that
no. So that's what I'm trying to drive at. That many times slogans begin to take the whole narrative, but interrogating that you have this array of alternative media. What is their content?
We have another caller, please. Hello.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Oh, okay. You can call back. The number is on your screen: 0809-987-1989. Yes, you were talking about.
No, so there are specific issues. Look at Agba Jalingo, like you said. Look at all these are states, okay,
that wanted to engage issues at the state level. Hello. Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Calling from Abuja.
What is your name and what do you want? Okay. Sorry.
So my sense is that we are not engaging enough. That's just.
And we have not built the critical mass that can actually demand and get change.
So what
the kind of change, the kind of critical mass that led us to have the Not Too Young to Run bill.
And that is the only way. As if we continue to build personality cults. And what do I mean by personality cults? Oh, Jide is the spokesperson of the people. Eze speaks for the people. Democracy does not contemplate me speaking for anybody. Under the military, you can have people who speak for you. Oh, you didn't have the courage, and then these people are very courageous. But there are different options for civil rule of engagement. If you cannot protest, you can go to court.
Yeah,
if you cannot go to court, you can do a letter to your honorable. If you cannot do, you can call into this program.
As you are doing
now, there are many options.
And some people are not just taking any of the options.
They
are interested in BB Niger.
It's not. There is even no problem being what they are interested in. It's their democratic right to be interested in. But what I don't like is to now set you up
and make you the sacrificial and they forgot that whoever said is used to break crocodile, as he used to say, will never live to eat out of it. Let's take this other call as we round up. Hello? Oh, we lost that.
So when they set you up and then you are taking, they say the civic space is shrinking. The civic space is not shrinking because there are other outlets. That's my argument. And I've confronted that argument everywhere. I said, look, in Nasarawa alone, how many radio stations? Listen to them. They are talking about Abuja. They don't talk about Nasarawa. They will never talk about Nasarawa. They don't want to
because
talk
they know the implications.
But this one is far, so you can insult him.
You can do what you like. It's federal. You can call out your federal lawmaker, but you cannot call out your state lawmaker.
No, don't do that because they will. That's what I'm saying.
You cannot call out your councillor.
That's where the civic space is shrinking. The civic space is shrinking
like Lake Chad. No, even so, you said I should not call you comrade. We are on the home drive. Let's leave that contention. We are on the home drive. Now, what do you think we need to do? Whatever the credibility or otherwise of the elections that produce these leaders at the local government, they are there already now. They will be there for 4 years, for 3 years. What should we as citizens be demanding of them?
So why do I respect you, Jide? This column that you are writing, does anybody pay you?
Of course not.
No, do you get
even
paid?
this, I'm not.
No. What I'm saying, do you get paid for this?
No, of course
So
not.
why are you doing this?
Passion and commitment.
So why can't we get more people doing one thing or the other? I told somebody, I said, I'm on the plane going to observe election in Lagos. Do you know that there is no insurance for me?
Of course.
No,
It's
nothing.
a volunteer work.
Nothing.
It's a volunteer work.
Oh, I saw you on television. So,
You are using your resources to go.
I said, Jide, I'm here now. Are you going to pay me?
Of course,
So
I don't even
is there
get paid.
anybody that elected us to be doing what we are doing? Let's get more people. That's the only way.
Hello? Hello?
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, you are on Development Focus with Judo Joe on ITV. What's your name and where are you calling from?
So my name is Joseph. I'm calling from Abuja. So I want to ask one simple question here.
Okay, what's your question, Joseph?
My question now is that is it right for security agency to interfere in election or peaceful election, to tell you what to do and what not to do, or to tell you that you must to vote for this or not to vote for this person?
I thought you called earlier, Joseph.
That's the reason why I ask this question.
Okay.
And if they interfere in election, who are we going to report to?
Okay, thank you very much for your question. Let my guest answer that. I think I need to give you space to answer.
Yes, so Police Service Commission deploys observers also for these elections. That's what I'm talking about. He's asking the right question. What can I do? When the police, show
It's
partisanship,
becoming complicit and
partisan in the particular place where you're observing, you can quietly take the details and make a report. You can make it. And now the police has different methods of getting reports. You don't need to go to police station. You can call the PPRO. You can find the PPRO's number and send him a text, or there are different. The challenge is that the complaint industry in Nigeria is the biggest industry. The solution type, this development with Jido, which is a solution, is lacking. There are people who don't want solution. Is to complain. There is something to do. If the police harass you in election, you can ventilate that through different platforms, because there is no guarantee. There is nothing insurance that we can put in place and say somebody who goes there as a professional and decides to be unprofessional, the only thing you can do is to observe him, and that is why you have citizen observers, you have party agents. The work of a party agent is not just to defend the interests of his party in the polling unit. So if you see that police people are obstructing your people from voting, you quietly take notes and then escalate it. So it's not just to say, oh, it happens, but what have we done? And that's why I'm excited about the question that you asked.
Okay, I hope, Joseph, if you are watching, that's the answer to your question. Now, final question before we call it a wrap. Easy. Local governance is supposed to be at the grassroots. It's the closest to the people. So, how and what would be your message about engagement with those local representatives? A ward, this PAPE is like a ward. Shouldn't we get to know who our councillor-elect is, or councillor, or chairperson? And are they not supposed to have offices where you can reach out to them? Can we just afford to say, let them carry go? We will not vote.
I'll answer you straight. If, Jide, you have a document that needs the signature of a local government chairman, maybe you are processing the document and you need the signature of a local government chairman, personal thing to you, how do you find him?
At all costs, you ask questions.
So when it has to do with public good,
because the roads are dilapidated, there is no primary center, there is no primary school.
Get what I'm saying? The same people who claim they have no access to the local government chairman, when they want to, their children want to wed, when they want to join military school, when they want to, anything that requires them to to interface.
Or they want somebody to stand there for them.
That it require them to interface with this local government chairman. They jump every obstacle and hurdle to reach that place. But when you say make a demand, is our attitude to what is public and what is private. Until we break it, the local government chairman is not a god. He is not.
Let's see whether we can squeeze this last call. Hello, very quickly, 30 seconds. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello? Okay, sorry, your final word. I think
what I'm telling you is that I have had to confront these questions now and then. And what I have found out is that people, House of Rep member, senator, people, when they need them for things that are private to them, they go and sleep in their houses. But they meet them in church. They don't say your constituency office is not functioning. They don't say Mr. Councillor. When you meet him on the road in Pape here, that councillor, the people who claim they don't know him, they know him. When they meet him, what are they asking him?
They are demanding for beer and pepper soup.
It's pepper soup.
Okay, it's all right. Don't sleep on your right. That's the message from Eze Nwawago. He's a comrade. He's a member of the Yaga, member of the board of Yaga Africa. Is so many things.
Of Peering Advocacy
Advancement Center. And you can find them on Facebook, on social media, engaging on how you can go about your people. You ask questions and people will put you through on how you can get these things done. I like that statement that they are setting us up, few of us. So go and do it. We must all develop the courage we must all be involved so that we can salvage the situation. That will be the wrap on the discussion segment of the development focus we did. Quite unfortunately, we couldn't bring you the advertised segment, which is to discuss the shrinking civic space in Nigeria. I can promise you that that will be brought to you at another date. But I want to thank Eze Nwawago for sacrificing time to be with us on the show this morning.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so very much.
Please stay safe and stay blessed. Please don't go away. We have the newspaper review segment coming up in a bit. Thank you very much, Maxwell Esegbe, lecturer at the International Institute for Journalism. And
nice meeting you. I'm very happy to be here all the time.
So that would be the size of our program this morning, Development Focus with Jude Ojo on ITV. Do stay tuned for another fresh edition next Wednesday. Have a great day and please stay safe. COVID-19 is real.